Welcome back, everyone, to your favorite movie review channel. I know it to be true. Yes, Man Cinema Reviews with its lovely host, Peter Mann. What's up, y'all? Today we got the double review of Thanksgiving and Saltburn. But before we get to those titles, let's take care of some business per usual, and that is to go ahead, press like, subscribe, and I dare you to hit that notification bell as well to notify you of any and all reviews to this channel. Thank you very much for choosing Man Cinema Reviews. I'm in a festive mood, so I'm going to go with the latest horror film, Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. An axe-wielding maniac terrorizes residents of Plymouth, Massachusetts after a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy. Picking off victims one by one, the seemingly random revenge killings soon become part of a larger, sinister plan. So that is what Eli Roth's film, Thanksgiving, is in a nutshell. Now, let me bring in some context. I'm not the hugest Eli Roth fan. I do not really care for his Hostile films. I know he came out the gate with Cabin Fever. Again, dark, black horror film comedy, if you will. I really don't like that kind of meshing, and so I'm not a fan. And anytime he does a horror film, I seem to skip it because I'm the least bit impressed with what Eli Roth brings as a director. I think he's pretty just straightforward, just give you all the blood, guts, and he used to be known for his torture porn kind of approach. But as he's progressed, he's dabbled. I liked him in Inglourious Basterds as the Bear Jew. I think he's good in front of the camera rather than behind the camera. And there are some films that I think are decent. Knock Knock was a halfway attempt at an erotic thriller, but again, clunky dialogue as Eli Roth usually has. I wasn't a big fan of that film. His kids horror film actually pretty decent, probably his best work, and doesn't get much play. Should be higher rating on the Rotten Tomato. The House with a Clock in Its Walls, I really think that film is an underrated gem and happens to be, in my opinion, his best film to date. Wait, a lot of people are saying, context, Thanksgiving happens to be the best Eli Roth film to date. Well, let's go ahead and dive in. So we have Patrick Dempsey and Gina Gershon in the film. We have newcomers Addison Rae, Nell Verlack, and Milo Manheim to even out on the young talent. I would like to say that this is a nice attempt for Eli Roth to reinvigorate the Scream craze, as it is probably this generation, and I usually do the comparison of this is the new Scream for this generation. But as far as the audience reception goes, it is taking the audience and viewers by storm. A lot of people really like this film for what it is. It's a great slasher film of yesteryear. You have a mass killer, basically a pilgrim from Plymouth, Massachusetts, John Carver. I really like the mask. I really like the getup, the whole patriotic, pilgrim look. It's great. I like the setup. And again, it's a whodunit. So who's behind that mask? It's great to see just these red herrings. The film is centered on Jessica, Nell Verlack, and her friends. During a Black Friday, her dad has a store called Right Mart, and similar to Walmart, and a riot ensues in the store. People are killed very maliciously and in your face, per usual, the Eli Roth style. And I just think that the film kicks off as soon as the film begins. It just goes for the jugular, no holds barred. Got the thrills, got the chills, got the spills. Yes, it is a dark comedy. Yes, it is violent, but it's the usual Eli Roth bag of tricks that I usually don't care for. A lot of the times I did roll my eyes because, again, to me, Eli Roth has clunky dialogue, pretty much known for that. But if you're into that throwback B-level horror film, you're gonna eat this right up, because this is what Thanksgiving is. Now, did I like it? I happen to think that, hey, it's enjoyable, it's serviceable, and it happens to be one of the better Eli Roth films. Am I head over heels with it? Not really, but again, like I said, I really like what, this new cast, Nell Verlaque, Addison Rae, Zombies, Milo Manheim. I really do think that that's someone that you need to pay attention to, because I really do think that this kid has got presence, and we see where he goes from here. But like I said, there's a lot of red herrings. Is it the new boyfriend who Milo Manheim plays, or is the old boyfriend Bobby who comes back mysteriously into town, missing after a year when the events of the Black Friday massacre occurs? I like the fact that it has the audience thinking who could be behind the mask, and that's what you're here for. Thanksgiving for me was just serviceable horror fun, and it's great that we now have a Thanksgiving horror film. So every time Thanksgiving rolls around, hey, let's pop in Thanksgiving, because like I said, it's serviceable. I'm gonna give Thanksgiving a proper and enthusiastic 3 out of 5. Now, take it what you will, take it with a grain of salt. Hey, I think that's a badge of honor for Eli Roth. And good job, man. I've actually heard a couple of podcasts that he was on, and he really knows his cinema. So, like I said, Eli Roth, maybe you'll turn me one of these days into a fan. But as for now, this is a step in the right direction, Eli. Keep making them like it. Now, going on to Emerald Fennell's latest film, Saltburn. I happen to think that this is a great throwback thriller a la The Talented Mr. Ripley. I like how they reverse engineer this, and like I could say that I can make the comparison that, well, hey, Saltburn's the new The Talented Mr. Ripley. A student is invited to an eccentric classmate's estate for an exciting summer. Now, that's what it is in a nutshell. I like Jacob Elordi, I like Barry Keoghan, Rosamund Pike, and Richard E. Grant. I mean, the list goes on and on. I think the entire cast is stunning. I think it's a vibrant film. I think the cinematography is great. Set in 2006, so it does feel like it's a throwback period piece. I like how the soundtrack is doing the brunt of the work, and I think that Saltburn is actually a sleek, sophisticated, dark comedy, psychological thriller. It's a little bit of everything. It's a chameleon, just like its main character, Barry Keoghan. You're following this guy. He's kind of thrown into this prestige world of going to a high society college, and he doesn't have much familiar background. A lot of people tease him, a lot of people pick on him, but he really hones in on Jacob Elordi's character. And this guy is definitely a rich, spoiled kid that lives on a posh, grandiose, just excessively rich estate. And when they graduate, Barry Keoghan, again, comes from a family that's broken. Jacob Elordi's character feels sorry for his newfound friend and invites him to Saltburn. And this is where the story just kicks off, and you get to see the just riches and the grandiose. Like I said, this film is shot beautifully. Once you get to the estate, it's just an axis of just the rich and posh lifestyle. This is a family that comes from old money, so they just have these lavish rooms with paintings and just historical artifacts within the walls, just regaled around the entire state, and you feel like you can get lost in it. Hell, the garden has this maze that's very similar to The Shining, where you can get lost in that as well. And there is this back and forth with Jacob Elordi and Barry Keoghan's character. They're just seen as very sexualized, and you don't know if the two are kind of closeted. There's a lot of homoeroticism in this film. Is he into him? Is that feelings reciprocated from Jacob Elordi's character? And the film is shot very sophisticated, sleek, and just beautiful. But to get into it, I don't want to give too much away, but Barry Keoghan's character, as you can kind of imagine, is a chameleon. Is he who he says he is? And I'm bringing the comparison of The Talented Mr. Ripley. Once you get the breadth of how bizarre and off the rails it does get once he goes onto the estate, Rosamund Pike as Jacob Elordi's mother and Richard E. Grant are just very eccentric. Richard E. Grant does do well in this film, but kudos goes to Rosamund Pike. Not since Gone Girl have I seen her just electrified on screen. She just steals the show for me. The two leads are great. Jacob Elordi is having a great year this year with just the recent release of Priscilla as Elvis. I think he did a just spot-on job. I think he's great in this film as well. But it really is Barry Keoghan's film. He is just a chameleon of an actor as well. I've liked him ever since I've seen him in Dunkirk, The Killing of a Sacred Deer. This guy is just he brings a lot of gravitas when he's on screen. And just the two of them are just very electrifying to see. Again, I want you to go in clean slate and see how you feel about Saltburn. I think this is very polarizing. A lot of critics and fans and the audience are very split with this film. I've heard great reviews and not so great reviews. Well, I'm here as Man Cinema Reviews to represent and say I really like this film. I just think that it's a throwback to dark psychological thrillers with just a hefty amount of dark comedy to boot. And I will give Saltburn a just lavish 4.5 stars, nearly 5 stars. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite films of the year. And I think once you see the cinematography, Emerald Fennell, I like Promising Young Woman. I think she does a bang-up job for her sophomore film as the follow-up. So I do highly recommend. But what did you think? Did you like Thanksgiving? Did you like Saltburn? Let your comments be known down below, and we'll see you on the next review. Peace.